Hello, what is going on, guys? Taki Guy 1 here. Welcome to my ranking of the Mission Impossible movies. So yeah, I just reviewed all of them, so let's just get into the ranking. So coming in at number 6 is Mission Impossible 2. I mean, it's not the terrible movie that a lot of people seem to say it is, but it's still a very mediocre film. It's not very good. And, yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise and the action. Good thing for those two elements. Otherwise, this film definitely would have been total trash. Because they saved the movie big time. Because this movie kind of is a trash film and a mediocre story and just there's I love interest who's just kind of a weak character, and this movie doesn't really have much character development to many of the characters, and yeah, it definitely has weak villain. Yeah, it's still a pretty mediocre film. I'm not getting wrong. Tom Cruise in action flat out saved this movie, so that's why it's at number 6. Now that we got the one mediocre film out of the way, we're now in the good movie range. So at number 5, I got Mission Impossible 3. Don't get me wrong, still a good movie. It's just not as good as the ones above it. Like Tom Cruise and the action are good as always, and the villain Owen Davian is very menacing and intimidating, and a very good villain for it. Philip Seymour Hoffman couldn't have been a better choice for him. And Ethan Hunt's turned into a badass here with a real motivation that you get. The opening scenes adds in suspense, and most characters here are pretty good. I mean, the visuals look great. The story is definitely far more improved from the mediocre story of the second film, and it's definitely a really great story. I mean, of course, sure, there are some problems, like the love story with Ethan and Jane, and as well as Lindsay's character were kind of unnecessary, and other than that, the movie's just a really good film, and yeah, I really enjoyed this film, and that's why it's at number 5. So at number 4, I have the original film, Mission Impossible, and it's just a great, kind of underrated film. I mean, it's not really as well appreciated as the 3 new ones, and for me, I feel like it should be appreciated just as much. Despite there kind of being a first act that drags and one of the worst villain plot twists in history. Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying in history, but it's a pretty bad plot twist. But other than that, I still think it's just a really awesome film. Like the action and Tom Cruise and Bing Rams, Ethan Hunt's character is fully developed, and as well as Luther Stickle. And that one scene where he's hanging down from the vents just to retrieve something, that was just awesome. Awesome. One of the first jaw-dropping moments of this franchise, and there's plenty of them, trust me. Especially with the newer ones, but this was the very first jaw-dropping moment of this franchise. Yeah, and it was a pretty great one for its time. And that scene is just awesome, and all the action is awesome. Like I said, and the second and third acts are just very entertaining, and you never get out of it. And everything of it, and the acting was great, and yeah, and they also introduced the theme song, and it's definitely one of the best theme songs in film for sure. For the dun 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 dun. Like, of course, it ends up going out through the entire franchise, and it was for sure a great theme song, and it's still a great theme song to this day. And definitely gonna be up there with Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jaws, Jurassic Park is one of the best themes in film, for sure. So at number 3, I have Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Wow, I mean, putting through the first, ranking up the top 3 was kind of hard because they're all just as good. They're all awesome. And Rogue Nation is no exception. It's just awesome. It has a lot of the most memorable moments in this franchise. Just about every single action scene from the motorcycle chase, the car chase, is the opening, the scene where they infiltrate something, and I mean it's just awesome, and the story is pretty awesome as well. And I mean, this film was just really awesome. There's not much wrong with it, for sure. I mean, Solomon Lane is definitely probably the best villain in this franchise, I'd go as far to say. And yeah, he's very menacing, about as menacing as Owen Davian, if not more. And yeah, he's just awesome. And well, all this acting in this movie, of course, Tom Cruise is always, Bing Rhames is back, so always being great, and Jeremy Renner is great, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson, Alec Baldwin, and Sean Harris. They all did an awesome job in their roles, and none of them were hailed. Yeah, none of the characters really bad, and Benji definitely has his biggest role of the entire franchise, and his character is very well developed, as well as Ethan Hunt's character has a motivation again, like in the third movie, and definitely was badass. And this movie's just great. That's why it's at number 3. And at number 2, I have Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I mean, there's some people who would say Rogue Nation's better. There's some people who say Ghost Protocol is better. Yeah. Either way, they're both just as good as each other, but I just slightly prefer Ghost Protocol more because it kind of develops the characters a bit more. Rogue Nation still developed the characters. I just feel like Ghost Protocol developed them better. Having Benji, Brandt, Ethan, everybody just together, having the banter and learning to appreciate each other, kind of thing. I feel like they developed the characters much better there, as well as the villain, Cobalt, Aldor Henrik, just amazing. And I can't really forget the Burj Khalifa scene. Just wow, was that an awesome scene. That is the most jaw-dropping moment of this franchise, for sure. And it was just awesome. And yeah, I mean, it could have been better. I mean, like I said in my review, Tom Cruise being able to pull off that stunt is impressive on its own, let alone the scene. And just, it's awesome how that scene was pulled off, as well as the climax where they just keep fighting in the car, in the car area, and the car ends up crashing, and they keep fighting each other. That was just some awesome action, and I mean, the story was definitely done very well here, as well as all the character development, the visual effects. I mean, I don't really like how they kind of reduced Luther into a small cameo role, but you know what, it's not the end of the world, but still. And yeah, this movie is just awesome, so it's at number 2. And at number 1, I have the newest entry, Mission Impossible Fallout. This movie was just fantastic. I'm gonna go as far to say it's my favorite movie this year so far, which isn't really saying much, because I'm gonna be honest, This year has been a pretty bad year for movies, and yeah, unfortunately, it's been pretty bad. I mean, of course, there's still good movies here and there, but it's still been a pretty bad year for movies. But anyways, this movie is just fantastic. I mean, wow, this is the most well-developed story, most well-focused on story of this franchise, and probably easily the best story of this franchise, because I mean, all of them really focus on the story, but this one focuses on it the most, more than just action, which is how I like it, as well as like I said, like in all the Mission Impossible films, the action is just jaw-dropping and great. Like, there's a motorcycle chase scene that was badass, and a scene where Ethan Hunt jumps up on the end of a plane and has to climb up it. That scene was just awesome. Even better than the plane scene in Rogue Nation, I can say. And yeah, in the plane chase that followed after was great. And I have to say, Henry Cavill was awesome in this film. He should be having a career outside the DC extended universe, because he is terrible in the DCU. U.S. Superman things to terrible writing, but here he proves that he can definitely act and with a good script, and yeah, and definitely could help him with his career moving forward. And everyone from Benji, Luther, and Foster are all developed very well. We couldn't have been any better. And the Apostles, the villains, were just awesome, as well as, I mean, I wasn't a big, I mean, not that I hated the twist, it's just that I kind of saw it coming, where August is kind of a villain. It's not that it's a terrible twist, it's just that I saw it coming, that's all. Yeah, she's a pretty good villain, even with the twist. And yeah, like I said, this movie is just fantastic in just about every way, and just my favorite movie of this year so far. That was my ranking of the Mission Impossible franchise. Did you agree with my ranking? If not, tell me your ranking in the comments below. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.